С вами Red Devil Crew. Hi, this is Red Devil Crew, and we are starting our interview with great Scottish musician, Stephen Gray.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Stephen.
Hiya, how you doing?
We appreciate you came here
Thank
tonight.
you. No, it's my pleasure, my pleasure.
So the guys prepared some questions for you,
Okay.
and I'm going to ask you,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't know what they're going to be, but it's fine.
Yeah. So you are an ex-drummer of the Boy Hairdressers, right?
Yeah, I was a Boy Hairdressers, very briefly, but
Tell us about that.
well, but I was playing drums for a very good band in Scotland called James King and the Lone Wolves, and I left them, and I joined a band with this guy called Norman Blake.
Was it 80s, like? Yeah.
This was 1980. 1980. Whoa, hold on. No, I just remembered because my memory. I was in a band called the Faith Healers with Norman Blake, which became the first version of Teenage Funclub. Yeah. And then I left them and I joined another band. When I left that band, I joined the Boy Hairdressers.
Yeah.
So with Norman, I played 3 bands with Norman from the Teenage Funclub, and Boy Hairdressers was one of them. And they were a really good band. And the Boy Hairdressers songs were basically the same songs Teenage Funclub did on the first album, as far as I'm aware.
So it's like it's literally the same band, right?
Basically. Yeah, same sound, you know. Very, very influenced by a band, American band called Big Star, who are Alex Chilton, who are really, really good 70s band. And a lot of the music came from there. It wasn't original music, it was original music, original songs.
Covers?
No, I mean it was, the band had a sound set on this band, Big Star. Yeah. It was their own song, we wrote our own songs, you know, all written by Norman, mainly. But it was Big Star are a 70s band who are worth checking out, actually, yeah.
It's interesting. Tell us a couple of words how you met with Kurt Cobain, because everybody's interested, you know.
How
was that? Was it like accidentally?
I got to say it was unremarkable because it was 3 seconds, you know.
Yeah.
My friends were a band called the Vaselines. They were my friends, and I've been friends with them. I've been friends with drummer Charlie for about 40 years now, you know. Yeah. And with the same.
You're still friends, right?
Oh yeah, we're still friends. I'm still
keep in touch.
I keep in touch with Charlie and Eugene occasionally, but not the others. No. James has disappeared. The bass player disappeared. I don't know where he's gone to. Yeah. But the Vaselines were a great band, and I toured with the Vaselines in 1988, I think, and we did about maybe 7 gigs or so, and it was the Vaselines and the Beat Happening, who are a band from Olympia, Washington, who are, and incidentally, the singer from the Beat Happening, Calvin Johnson, and Eugene were both really close friends of Kurt Cobain's, really close friends. Yeah. And I had no idea who he was at that point. And I had no idea who he was when I met him as well. I didn't know his name. I approached him because he's small.
Yeah, he was small and he was not that famous that time.
He was famous.
Underground.
It was the Nevermind tour, and it was a Summer Nevermind tour, and Smells Like Teen Spirit was yet to be released as a single. When it was released as a single, then it catapulted to one of the biggest band in the world. So it was about 2 weeks before.
2 weeks before, yeah.
2 weeks before when I met him.
It's kind of interesting, yeah.
Yeah, and what happened was that the Vaseline split up, and they formed another band called Captain America. Yeah. And Captain America supported Nirvana on the Nevermind tour. And I got a phone call from Eugene saying, we need somewhere to stay. And I was in London, and Eugene called me and said, can I stay at your house? So they all came, all the bands stayed at my house, and they gave me backstage passes for the Nirvana gig. I knew who Nirvana were, but I didn't know how big they were at that time. They were.
How big are they
they sold out that concert. It was Astoria in Charing Cross in London. Yeah. And that was about 3,000 people, you know. And I'd heard Love Buzz by that point. That's all I'd heard at that point from
Everybody
the first album.
Everybody loved Love Buzz back those days.
That's all I heard.
So, yeah, it was a great cover.
But I really liked those kind of bands at the time, like Mudhoney and all these kind of bands. I really liked them all, you know. And Husker Du I loved very much as well. It's interesting. And what happened was that Eugene gave me like something like, this is unbelievable, 5 backstage passes for Nirvana. He gave me 5. They didn't know anybody. I was at university at the time. I went to university. I went around all my friends at university and said, do you want to go see this band called Nirvana? I've got a backstage pass. They all said no. We've never heard of them.
Oh my.
All of them. I said, oh, fuck it then, sorry. I will go on my own. And I went to the gig that night. I gave the backstage passes back. I kept my own backstage pass. I spent most of my time with Eugene and James because they're the people I knew the most. Because they were the two Vaseline's members who were my friends. And I did actually go for a walk, and I walked past this guy, and I realised later it was Kurt Cobain. I walked past him. I thought he was a roadie. I didn't know he was as before he went on stage. I didn't know who he was. Sorry, my nose is itchy. And I got really drunk, and when Nirvana came on, I stood at the side of the stage and I watched them play at the side of the stage, and the first song they did was Jesus Didn't Want Me for Sunbeam, which was Eugene's song.
Yeah, actually,
and I was like,
Eugene's song.
Wow, I mean, I was like, whoa.
Great song.
Great song. And then later on, I spent most of my time with James and Eugene, and at the end of the night, I was going home, and I lived quite near the venue. It's walking distance away, but I was very drunk.
Yeah.
And Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic and Kurt Cobain were waiting at the stage door, and they were waiting on their van.
Yeah.
And it was a bus. It was like a big white minibus. It was, and I went up and I was drunk like that. Good show.
Good show.
Like that.
He said thank you.
And he looked at me and I said thank you, and that was it. And I said thank you, and I walked away. That was it. It's really unremarkable.
You're a very, very lucky person.
Well, but it's unremarkable though. I mean, I didn't know at the time.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. So tell us about living in Moscow. Why did you move to Moscow? And
I fell in love with a girl from Moscow. Yeah.
Yes, and how is that in comparison with Glasgow, your native city? How does it feel to live in Moscow?
Well, I like Moscow, and
what are the difficulties or differences?
Well, the difficulties are, I mean, I have survival Russian, you know, so I get by.
Oh yeah.
And coming to Tula is strange because nobody speaks English here.
Nobody speaks English here, but we try.
Yeah. Except for you. I mean, except for you.
Yeah.
And I really like it here, and I hadn't really decided to do music again. Yeah. But 5 years ago, I was kind of spiraling out of a divorce thing, and it was kind of like extremely upsetting, and my kids I wasn't seeing my children as much as I wanted to, and my friend Sasha made me a guitar, so I picked up the guitar, started writing songs.
You started writing the songs and you started a band.
I started a band, yeah.
Tell us about your band, The Secret World.
The band have been together for 4 years, but it's been like in bits because we had COVID, stopped us for a long time, and then we had, well, the current situation, you know.
Yeah, the war.
And we had so it's been off and on. And originally it was an expat band. We had like a Norwegian guitar player. At one point we had a Canadian guitar player. We had an Austrian bass player. We still have a South African guitar player now, and we had an American drummer. So we're all expats. So I've got about 35 songs. So we had so many songs to choose from. And we rehearsed, and then we had the breaks because of the pandemic and because of the war, the breaks. But the pandemic was great for me because I wrote about 10, 12 songs during the pandemic.
Yeah. Would you like to come to Tula and play the concert here?
I would love to come and play Tula. My band would love to come and play here in this club. Yeah.
So do you like the club? What do you think?
Oh, it's really cool. Yeah, I really like it. It's a good sound.
It's like a biker club, you see.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, I can see the bikes up there.
Yeah. Yes, it's amazing here.
Yeah. No, I'd like to come and play here. And we are playing a concert on the 21st of April at Jim and Jack's in Chisty Prudy in Moscow if anybody wants to come. It's free admission, no charge.
Yeah, that's great.
So I want to come. But I mean, Moscow for me is like, it's about music, it's about friendship, and it's about love as well, you know. I mean, Russia's about love. I have a beautiful girlfriend who I love dearly, Natalia, who couldn't come here tonight.
Yeah.
Who was originally supposed to come but she couldn't come. I have great friends in Moscow, and Moscow is a real source of inspiration for me to write music.
Good.
And what I don't get about the fact that in Moscow, or in Russia mainly, a lot of musicians play cover versions, they don't write music, and there's so much about Russia to write about. Yeah. And I get I'm a foreigner, I get inspiration from Russia.
That's great.
You know, a lot of my songs are littered with references to Russia. I'm in love with a girl from Krasnodar, you know.
We wish you good luck, Steven, and we hope to see you and your band here in M2 Club or somewhere else.
Well, I can sort
it. Concert.
I'll sort it out with the Red Devils and see what we can do. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
For the interview.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye bye.
I hope you understand my accent when you're doing the Russian subtitles.
Your Scottish accent. Your accent is not the worst. Believe me, I was in Scotland. I know.
All right, man. How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah.
Want a drink? Like that, yeah.
What drink?
Would you like a drink?
Irina, from Russia.
Yeah.
What? I'm from Russia.
Not from Russia. I'm from Russia.